and all those drugs that we take do what we call affect us by way of depressing the body, making the body very slow. That is the reason why when you are in pain and you take those pain relievers, it calms you down and makes you feel like the pain is no more there. So these are some of the drugs. So we have the opium. The opiums are the heroin, morphine, and all those kind of things. Yes, I know some of you are relating to it. Benzodiazepines, the Valium, the codeine, the morphine, and all those kind of pain relievers that we know, both the legal one and the illegal one. Then we have what we call the stimulant drugs. So the stimulant drugs are the nicotine, the caffeine. That is the reason why today you see most of the young men holding caffeine, energy drinks in their hand, always shaking it with some other chemicals being inserted inside. So we have the nicotine, those who smoke, especially when you go to places where they are cold, the Russian countries and all those kind of, they smoke a lot because they feel that the body is chilled, so they have to get something to ginger the body. That's why they abuse nicotine, caffeine, cocaine, the amphetamine, as well as what we call the kite. Especially those who go to clubs, you know what kite is all about. Yeah, the club people. Then when we talk about the hallucinogen drugs, we are talking about the marijuana. Marijuana can be in 2 forms or 3 forms. So we have the hashish, then we have the hashish oil. So marijuana can be made into an oil form. That's what people use for the ashito and all those biscuits and toffees that we have in the system. So that is what they use it for. The peyote, the LSD, as well as the MDMA. Those drugs are stimulant drugs. So what they do is that they give you the high. So especially these drugs are abused by musicians, sportsmen, and all those kind of people. Because when they take in those drugs, it energizes them. It gives them some extra energy. It doesn't make them go tired. They can stand on their feet for a very long time. They can party for a very long time. That is the reason why you see most of our musicians abusing all those drugs. Now, when you take the hallucinogen drugs, we have the end of flashbacks. So the synthetic ones are basically made from our labs, from both our clandestine labs. Most of the legal drugs too are manufactured from most of the manufacturing companies that, one way or the other help us. So those who have visited hospitals before, you realize that some of the drugs, when the doctors give to you, they tell you that when you take this drug, you don't drive or you don't actually do anything that will take you off. When you are sitting behind a machine, you don't have to go near the machine because and it will not make you function properly. So basically, when they prescribe those drugs to us, they normally tell us to know or manage our movement and the things that we do. So cannabis, when you come to Bono region, our major problem has to deal with cannabis because we basically plant the cannabis in this very region that we find ourselves. So cannabis is very, very common in this our region, and people are abusing cannabis a lot because it's common and it can be found anywhere. So as being part of the hallucinogen family, it can also be found, depending on how you use it, in the depressant way. So depending on how you abuse the cannabis, it can also depress you one way or the other. At the same time, too, depending on how you mix the dosage, especially those who mix it with alcohol. You know, alcohol is already a depressant drug, and then you also mix it with weed. That turns into a lacquer, and then it has its own effect in the body. It also can also stimulate you. These musicians, depending on how dose they take, it can also give you what we call the stimulant effect. Now, the main reason why we are saying that we shouldn't abuse marijuana is that the THC content that is in the marijuana is what actually causes the danger effect within the body. So the brain damage, the madness we see that comes with abuse of marijuana and all those things are basically because of the THC. That is the tetrahydrocannabinol that is found in the cannabis. So somebody will say that if that is the case, why is the Narcotics Control Commission also saying that we should therefore legalize the cannabis exportation? We are saying that there's some good effect with cannabis when we are able to reduce the THC content in it. It can give us a very good effect. Those cancer patients can somehow use it to get well one way or the other. There are so many good uses of this cannabis, but the abuse of it, the social abuse of it is what we are talking about. And also the ones that is found in this particular country, the THC content is very high because we have so many species of cannabis. And then the ones that we plant in this our very country, especially in Bono region, is what we call the cannabis sativa. And that gives us the very negative effect that we talk about. So our own Kofi Annan once said that we need to spread the understanding that drugs are illegal because they are a problem, not a problem because they are illegal. Drugs causes health and mental problems when addictive. They can spare misery for users and those close to them. When taken intravenously, they can spread deadly diseases, especially like the HIV/AIDS, because those who don't have money to continuously abuse it, when they become addicted, when I go and buy it, I then share it with you. So any disease I have, eventually you also had it. So these are some of the effects that we are talking about. Most of the accidents we see on our roads are as a result of the abuse of the illegal drugs we've been talking about. The depressant drug, the hallucinogens, and the stimulant drugs. And at the end of the day, those who deal in it, those who transport it, those who sell it, when the law catches up with you, definitely there are prison terms. It also changes your physical appearance. So as we can see, this is somebody, I believe most of you have heard most of his music. That's Houston. I know most of you have heard of his music. This is how he was looking when he started using drugs. This is how he is. We also look at the root of administration. Root of administration means that how we take those drugs into our body. So mostly we see people smoking them. So when you smoke these drugs, within 10 seconds, then it begins to work within the body. So anytime you see people smoking, that's why especially you see a lot of Chinese people or Indian people abusing what we call the cigarette. So within the space of 10 seconds, then the nicotine is off. So every 1 minute or 2 minutes, they have to be smoking in order to get the so-called high that they want or the effect that they want to get. So you can imagine that if somebody can smoke a packet of cigarettes a day, the kind of effect it's having on his liver, his heart, and all the organs within our body. Those who also inject them, it also works within 15 to 30 seconds. Once you inject any drug into the body, so those who go to hospital, even our normal drugs, once they inject us into the drugs into the veins, it takes within the next 15 to 30 seconds, then you get the reaction of whatever has gone into the body. So you realize that injection is very serious. So those who abuse illegal drugs by way addictive, the addictive stage or addictive process is very fast. So that is how it works. Then we have the nasal inhalation. So nasal inhalation also take effect between 2 to 5 minutes. Then it starts works. So mostly those who do that are cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine, because cocaine is a powder form, heroin is also in powdered form. So these are the effects of those who put it in their tongue and then in between the teeth. You see that people, especially what we call asra. And now there's one we call a kick me. Yeah, that people abuse. So within the next 30 minutes, those things begin to work within the body and it wears off. Now we are going to look at the legal ramifications of what we are talking about. So when the law catches up with you, whether you are abusing it, you are transporting it, you are in possession of it, once you smoke it, you are already in possession. So the law is saying that when the law catches up with you, there is a prison term as well as a fine. So you spend not more than 5 years custodial sentence and a fine or a fine. When you are seen trafficking means that you are taking it from one point to the other. You are selling it to your fellow colleagues. You are sending it to other places to sell it. So that is trafficking. The law says you serve a prison term of 25 years, custodial sentence, and a fine. So in as much as you are serving the sentence, there's also a fine for you to pay. And the other thing too is that whatsoever property you have acquired through the abuse or the trafficking or the possession of these illegal drugs will be confiscated to the state. So how do you see that people are abusing or people have abused drugs? So most people who abuse those drugs, they always have red eyes. Some of them to become very drowsy. What class would they be or no quad or people also have memory loss. Until once you indulge yourself in some of these drugs, it will be very difficult for you to study. That is why we have a lot of school dropouts as a result of abuse of these drugs. Because adiano ubetena class that is what happened. Then we also have impaired of perception. So your perception will be very impaired. You cannot think properly, you cannot speak well. One samaya basa. Debia one kasabia washasya no akastati obe before. So these are some of the things. Then there's lack of motivation. So you see that those people who abuse these illegal drugs are always reserved. Debia obe hunibia no oshedim because he's abusing drugs. He doesn't want people to know how bad state he finds himself or herself. So this is what we find in most of the club, the ecstasy, the class of ecstasy, where we have tramadol classes inside. So especially our ladies, people are being lured into this drug addiction based on this. So if a guy wants to take advantage of, when he is having this type of drug, you not see it. It will be somewhere in the hand. As soon as he buys you a drink, he drops something inside. It dissolves into the drink. You take it, and you are off. And before you realize, you cannot control it. The danger is that a woman and a man abusing the same drug, the possibility of the woman getting addicted faster is very high. So women are very prone into addiction earlier than men because of how your body reacts to some of these drugs that you take in. So that is the reason why we are saying. So these are some of the type of drug we have. They always have designs on them. When you go to clubs, when you go to parties, you will find most of these things in there. So please be very cautious about it. So this too is another form. It looks like a sticker. So you realize that people want to abuse it and they don't want anybody to see that they are abusing it. You find a sticker somewhere within the body. So the drugs are being implanted on the sticker. Yenina yesusa na chewing gum bi wo ho. Owiwia na what the picture na wo ho na what the atalo wonsa ho. Most out of toffee chewing gum no. So most of these ecstasy drugs or illicit drugs are being done in such a way that as soon as you put it there, it now dissolves into the body and you get the high. So gradually, as they go by, then the drug is getting into the body. So most of people who want to abuse those drugs use those processes. So that is how methamphetamine looks like. It looks like very classic. It's a very crystal form. You see it very crystal, very nice. So it will be holding them. Then they will put some in their drink. It's dissolved into the drink and then they abuse it. Some also melt it and also smoke it just like that. And they are very highly addictive because they are stimulant drugs. And you have to take more to get the effects that you want to get. And once you take in the more, that is when you get to addictive stage. So that is how the methamphetamine is being. So Kofi Annan finally said that drugs are tearing apart our society, which we can all agree that looking at the trend, how it is going. Spiraling crime, there's crime all over. And the Uja will be Biatua, Ubakobabano, na Wadia Daudim, na Obi Afa. It's spreading a lot of diseases. There are so kind of disease that doctors cannot know the cause of it. And if you think that you and your family are immune, think again. Because drugs are not a problem solely for the poor, the rich minorities, or the inner city residents. The drug is a problem that affects all of us. Because but so be quiet, no be what they are. That is the effect that you also get. So these are some of the pictures that shows the effect of the drugs that we take. So a lot of, cavity. So our own Home Alone guy, yes, Kevin, that's how he's looking now. So I believe those of you who are in social media can relate to it. A young man turning into an old man. This is very bad. So these are all effects of as a result of abusing drug. So please, the physical appearance I've already talked about. You see people standing nowadays sleeping. Those are physical appearances. You see people always sleeping all the time. You see people losing appetite. So when abuse drugs, you see them always growing lean because on percent obesity. Those are people also suffer the mood assessment. There are a lot of things that happens when you take some of these drugs. At the end of the day, the end result has to be death. So today we see a lot of young men dying as a result of abuse of drug. So this is how time will permit us to end our presentation. If you have any question, thank you. So we put our numbers on the screen. We are also around. Our counselors are around. If you have any personal problem, if you are dealing with any drug that you think you need somebody to talk to, we are there to offer our services. We are just close to you. So anytime you need us, when you call us, we'll be there to support you. Please don't feel shy. Come to us, tell us any information at all you have. Please share with us so that we can also help deal with these matters. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. In fact, your applause is suffering from malaria. Thank you. Thank you. So keep your questions. We want to graduate. So we are going to talk about that. We are going to educate you on that. So please take note of that so that you can ask the questions. Welcome to the stage, Engineer Professor Gilbert Akrogo, the Industrial Attachment Coordinator, University of Energy and Natural Resources. Thank you.
Deans and directors, distinguished officials, respected lecturers, dear freshers, you are welcome to the University of Energy and Natural Resources. Today marks an exciting journey, one that will not only shape your intellect, but your professional future. Your professional future. The Industrial Attachment Office is mandated to train all students in practical knowledge. In UNER, we believe that learning does not end in the classroom, but true education combines theory with real-world problems or real-world experience. To achieve this, the Industrial Attachment Office placed students in repeat for a minimum of 6 weeks to undergo practical training. This attachment is mandatory for all third years. So when you get to the third year, you undergo this attachment program. This forms an integral part of your training here in UNED. During this period, lecturers are assigned to assess and monitor whilst you are on this program. The assessment is graded and forms an important part of your academic results. Before you can graduate, you need to go through this. You cannot graduate without undergoing this industrial attachment. It forms an integral part of training. To make this possible and accessible, the Industrial Attachment Office scouts actively for reputable companies and uploads them on an online platform, also known as the Attachment Hub. So you can go onto this Attachment Hub, look for the companies that fit into your area, and you can directly apply to these companies at a time that will be announced later. The time when the platforms are open, you'll be told along the line to go onto the platform companies. Over the years, students in UNER have benefited immensely from these programs. Our students have undertaken internship at reputable companies like MPA, Emont Ghana, Forestry Commission, top banks and insurance companies, as well as IT firms across the country. These opportunities have exposed our students to industry ethics, professional standards, as well as hands-on training. Furthermore, upon your return from this industrial attachment program, the industrial attachment office organizes a skills training seminar for all students. During this training, you are equipped with knowledge in soft skills and knowledge in areas like CV writing, cover letter preparation, as well as interviewing skills. When you undergo interview, there are certain points you need to take note of. You are taking through all of this. To conclude, dear freshers, the UENR graduate is special. You are trained not only with classroom knowledge, but also practical exposure. This places the UENR graduate at an advantageous position to compete confidently with any graduate across the country and even outside this country. As you begin your journey here in UENR, we encourage you to embrace every opportunity. Take your studies seriously and take advantage of every opportunity that is given you, so that in the end, you'll be globally competitive. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Akrogo. He's also an engineer. Is he not a fireman? He's a very fine gentleman. All right. So please, the floor is open for questions. The industrial attachment, the narcotic issues. If you have questions, please, and then you come here, we'll give you the microphone, and then you can ask the questions. Okay, so you stand at where the camera is. So we are taking 5 questions at a time. So if you have a question, you can come and join. We are taking 5 at a time.
I appreciate the opportunity, sir. Thank you. My name is Ruben, and I want to ask that as a level 100 student, how can we strategically prepare from now to secure meaningful and relevant industrial attachment placement?
Okay. So the question again. How do you strategically
prepare from now to secure a meaningful and relevant industrial attachment placement?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please, my name is Adonu Israel, and please, my first question goes to the narcotic controls. Please, according to the Narcotic Controls Commission Act 2020, that's Act 1019, it states that people are allowed to export or maybe breed, drugs or something like that. So I would like to know under what circumstances or under what conditions are they given this opportunity to breed these things. And my second question goes to the attachments. Okay, so as a level 100 student, let's say after your second semester, you have, let's say, about 3 months to stay in the house. And in case you want to maybe work or do an attachment with any of the IT firms, or based on what you are studying here on campus, we want to explore or have industrial knowledge, would the university allow you to go and also practice or something like that, as how you be allowed in level 3?
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. My question is that in the speech of the narcotics manager, he said something like, ladies react faster to drugs as compared to guys. So what I want to understand is, what makes ladies react faster to drugs?
All right, thank you.
I am Mango Abraham, and my question goes to the narcotic. During the presentation concerning the drugs, and looking at the drugs that was being sold to us, during some medical intake times, if you go to hospitals sometimes, they will give you such drugs. And these days too, police are on the roadside doing searching. Maybe I went to hospital and they gave me that drugs. I couldn't finish it and I was traveling. And I went with it. So if they caught me with that drugs, am I to be sentenced?
All right, very interesting question. I think you are the fifth person, right? Okay, so please, gentlemen, let us answer the fan. We will come to you. Thank you very much. Industrial attachment. How you got the questions?
Thank you, MC. The first question was, how do you strategically scale relevant attachment opportunities as a first year? So at the end of your second semester, you'll be going home for a long period. You are all encouraged to scale or look for companies that are closer to your place of abode. So if you live in Sunyani, if there are relevant companies in Sunyani, you need to talk to them and then come to us. You can come to us. Only talking to them may not do the trick. You have to come to us, give us the address of that company. We'll write a letter for you from the office, the industrial attachment office. That will give you, that will make your case stronger. You now take this letter to the company to do your attachment with them. And let me emphasize this. You need to start in the first year. If you're able to start in the first year, second year, before you even get to the third year, you have built that rapport with the company. And possibly you can do service with them and later secure a job with them. So in fact, you are encouraged to start in the first year looking for these relevant companies. That is the first question. The second one is, can you do attachment at the end of your second semester in the first year? I think that question is already answered by the answer I gave earlier. Yes, you can do that. And you are rather encouraged to do that. Thank you. But please take note, the first year, if you start in the first year, it will not be assessed. Second year, it will not be assessed. You still have to necessarily do the third year one. You need to do that. That is mandatory. You'll be assessed in the third year. You'll be monitored in the third year. And you cannot say, I've done it in the first year, therefore I will not take it in the third year. The third year one is mandatory, whether you started in the second year or not, or first year or not. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope we are fine. I hope we are fine. All right, narcotics.
Okay. So the first one has to do with the law. So yes, there are 1019. As I was speaking, I mentioned it. We are not saying that we should abuse cannabis or like social abuse of the cannabis. What we are saying is that the LI 2475 is saying that the regulation apply to person who seeks to engage in a business relating to cannabis, in the sense that what we are saying is that the 0.03% of that cannabis is for medicinal purposes, and it can also be used for some industrial purposes. That is what we are trying to come about. that business, that type of business is what we are talking about. So it's not the general use of cannabis, no. Still, the social activities or the social use of the cannabis is still prohibited by law. Even those who are about engaging in those business must have a license from the Minister of Interior before you will be permitted, so that we will be sure that this is where you are sending. Just like the same way we regulate the precursor chemicals that we have in our system. It's the same way we are going to regulate the cannabis, the good side of it. So it's not just like we are permitting cannabis to be used.
You take the substance will dissolve fast air, will be more concentrated in the small cup than in the gallon. So that's the whole analogy. So if you are a woman, smaller body, and you are taking substances with a guy who is bigger and stronger than you, you are taking the same quantity. Before you realize, you have had very serious consequences. When, as for him, maybe it hasn't even given him any scratch or anything at all. So ladies, be very, very careful when it comes to these things, because you will face the worst of it more than the men. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Yeah, is this biology or physiology or that was a very good explanation. Thank you very much. Let's take another set. Okay, so we have one. Let's get them before, please. 2, 3. So only 3, right? And we don't have any more questions. All right, so let's take the 3. Thank you.
Please, my question goes to the internship manager. When he was making the speech, he said that the manager will sort for companies and upload them on the internship app. My question is that, is it available for all the students? Can it sort all the students out? And my second question is that, will it be sorted based on your program? Like when you log in, you see the companies based on your program, or how are they going to do about that?
I'm Mark Mabin Queen. My question is, I don't know. I was expecting them to touch on the self-medication. I don't know whether that one is drug abuse or not. And if it is drug abuse, can it lead to drugs addiction? I mean, self-medication. Can self-medication lead to drug addiction? And my second question is, when you are doing your intensive and now your attachment, will you be paid? I mean, will you get some payment, or you take care of yourself? Thank you.
Hey, money, we are talking about money. Very important. Clap for him, clap for him. You have done well.
Okay, so I'm done.
Please,
then.
yes, before you come in, please, I would like to give opportunity to those at the first and second floor. So if you can take the microphones to them, the technical team, please. You can take the microphones to the first and then the second floor so that they can also ask their question. Thank you. Please continue.
Okay, so I'm Daniel, and my question is, how does the university in general address issues pertaining to the use of those hard drugs in it versus illicit drug use? And then are there targeted campaigns to educate students on? Okay, so I said again.
Are you a medical doctor?
Is that?
Are you a medical doctor? The terms that you are using, we are even confused. You break it down for us.
Okay, so my question is, how would the university address issues pertaining to the use of those hard drugs versus using drugs without prescriptions? That's the illicit drug use. And then are there targeted campaigns here on campus to educate students on that?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Please, my question is, will each program studied here do the industrial attachment? And then my second question goes to the narcotics control unit. So what is the measures to take if a friend or colleague is found in possession of illegal drugs?
Please come again.
My first
And,
question.
and this time louder, right, so that we can hear you.
Okay, so will each program studied here in campus do the industrial attachment? Each program. And then what is the measures to take if a friend or colleague is found in possession of illegal drugs?
All right. I hope it's clear. Industrial attachment.
Thank you. The last question, I was struggling to get it. But if I heard him right, he was asking if each program can engage in the industrial attachment. Yes, all of you here must participate. In the third year, at least, third year, you must do it. That is what we mean by it being mandatory. You cannot opt out of it. Then the second one was asking about paid internship. Well, if you are lucky and you get companies that are benevolent enough, they may pay you. But the essence of industrial attachment is not for you to be paid. At this stage, you are here to acquire knowledge, and you should prioritize acquiring that knowledge, practical knowledge and theoretical knowledge. So when you go there, you are still under what? Training. So if they happen to pay you, you can take it, but don't emphasize or don't prioritize what? The payment. Acquire your knowledge, and when you finish, you now can ask for what? Payment later. The last one is the opportunities online. Is it open to every student at every level? No, the online opportunities are for third years only. Third years only. So for first year, you have to look for your own placement. We can only help you with a letter to the company to give it that, to make it authentic. But in first year, second year, the opportunities are not open to you. Yeah. Not all of you will get, will be placed using the online one. The opportunities are still limited. It is based on what? First come, first serve. You need to get onto the platform early and pick opportunities. Apply early. Those who come late may not be. We are still working on increasing the numbers. We keep on scouting for more companies. We hope that in the future we'll be able to serve everyone. But for now, the opportunities are limited, even for the third years. Thank you.
Yes, so the first one said, are the legal drugs or the normal medicinal drugs that we take addictive? That is yes. The answer is yes. For instance, there are a lot of legal drugs that is very highly addictive, like the tramadol I mentioned, especially most of these pain relief drugs. There are other cough mixtures too that is also highly addictive drug. So most of those addictive drugs, whenever doctors prescribe to you, they give you a very short time to take those drugs. At most 5 days. So the doctor will prescribe a drug to you and tell you that when you finish taking this drug and the pain still persists, please come back and see us. Because the doctor knows that those drugs are very addictive drugs because it have some opium or this narcotic-like substances in those drugs. So most of these drugs, medicinal drugs that we take, most of them are very addictive and people always abuse it very much. So please be cautious about it. And somebody was also asking whether there are some clubs or society within the school that help in propagating or spreading the good news or educating people in terms of the illegal drugs. For now, I don't know of any. Maybe the school authorities, if there's one, they will say. Or if the SRC have one, they will say. But what the school does is that they engage with Narcotics Control Commission in most of the activities that you do in the school in order for us to come and educate you on these dangers of drugs. So we have so many presentations that we do on these drugs, depending on the program that is being held. So your department can invite us to come and talk about a specific drug. We'll be there to deal with it. So anytime you call on us, we are ready and willing to assist. Our counselor is the one who just spoke. Most of these students comes with a lot of problems. Last year, we have to arrest somebody from Siani Technical University. In fact, we've been arresting a lot of students. Let me put it away, because students are being used to engage in most of this illicit trafficking, sales, and so many activities. So please, if you are here, be very cautious. I know it's not easy, but be very cautious about it. Somebody is saying, are there sanctions and fines? I believe that the school itself have its own manual that deals with all the sanctions and the do's and don'ts of the school. The same vein, when you are being caught dealing with these illegal activities, Narcotics Control Commission will also deal with you in terms of the law court. Where we have to refer you to our counselors, we will do so. So I hope I've answered all the questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, would you appreciate their presentation? So wonderful. I like sometimes, even so below, they put something in and then sit up. Yeah, so please, be very careful. Your roommates, they will sit up. If you don't take care, you are somewhere. All right, thank you very much. Let me also use this opportunity to introduce some few dignitaries here. We have in our midst Mr. Johnson DeGraff. He is the examination officer. And then Hall 2, Hall Master. Hall 1, Hall Master. Sir, let's see you. Thank you very much. We also have Reverend Dr. Anthony Bedu, also in our midst. I know when he comes to take the mic, he will tell you a lot. He has a scholarship package for students. I mean, brilliant but needy students. So we will talk about that one as well. Thank you very much. And you are all welcome to the morning session of the orientation. Now we go to the please kindly note that Hall 2 is around. And there's a table there outside. So after the morning session, those who are affiliated to Hall 2 kindly go to that table and make your registration. 100 Ghana cedis. If you are affiliated to Hall 2, please kindly go there and make payment of your hall dues. On that note, we go to the most critical area of our academic journey, and that is examinations. I want to call upon Mr. Prince Ewua to come and give a presentation on examination. He will do this with the exams officer. Thank you very much. Shall we welcome him Wait.
Thank you, moderator OMC. Prof. I would like to stand on the existing protocol and bring greetings from the examinations department and welcome freshers to the University of Energy and Natural Resources. As you are all aware, I hope you have gone through a lot of examinations, right from the, is it crèche or DK, up to the secondary level, where you had your last exams and then you were admitted into the University of Energy and Natural Resources. So somebody will say, why exams at the university also? So we are saying that examination is one of the important aspects of your academic life at UNER. And it measures how well you understand what you have been taught and how effective you can apply this knowledge with integrity to impact the society. If you remember our motto, I hope he explained our motto to you yesterday. So on this note, our presentation is going to be examinations and its relevance, the structure of the examination, and the examination grading system. Then we'll look at the regulations on examinations. So the purpose or the relevance of examination is to assess students' understanding of the course content or the course being taught. Then also to ensure fairness and academic standards. And then to determine student progression to the next level. Now you are admitted into level 100. So for you to move to level 200, you need to be assessed through examination. And then also, examination will help to distinguish between serious and lazy students. If you are serious, it will be based on the examination at the end of the semester or at the end of the quizzes that you will do. And the most critical or the important purpose is for certificate. You are all here to get a certificate. And it is through examinations that you will get your certificate when you complete either the 4 years or 2 years. Let's look at the structure of the examinations. We have the continual assessments, and then we have end of semester examination. Continual assessment is 40% of the 100 marks, and the end of semester examination will be 60%. When we talk about continual assessment, it comprises the following. We have mid-semester exams. Here we don't have terms. We have semester-based. At the secondary school, you have term 1, term 2, term 3. But at the university, you have semester basis. So at the middle of the semester, you write an exams known as mid-semester exams. And before that, your lecturers can organize class tests or quizzes. They can give you take-home assignments. You can have practical exams, especially those doing the medical laboratory, nursing, even mechanical, electrical, chemistry. You all have practical sessions, and it can be termed or it can be organized as an exams which will form part of the continual assessments. And the most important thing here is attendance. Attendance to lectures also form part of the assessment. You need to attend 75% of lectures throughout the semester. If you are truant, if you don't attend lectures, you think your lecturer will not take notes. They will take attendance. And if you have found out that you couldn't obtain the 75% of the attendance to lectures, you may fail in that sense. And then we have, after the midterm, we have the end of semester exams. Every semester, you write an exams. We have two main semesters, that's the first and second semesters. And then we have one with them, the third semester, or the receipt. That one normally, we don't have lectures or classes. But those who are not able to pass all their courses in either the first or the second semester are given the opportunity to write those papers in the third semester. So we have the supplementary exams or the third semester or the receipt, where students with F are also given the chance or are eligible to write exams during that period. How can one qualify or is eligible for examination? Examination is tied with registration. If you don't register, you can't write or you can't sit for any exams at the university. So you need to pay your school fees and then you register. Approved by your head of department. I learned, or I hope you have been taken through the process of registration. And I know some of you are here, you are enjoying our facilities. Meanwhile, you haven't paid anything. You haven't paid your school fees. If you don't pay and register, you will not be eligible or you will not qualify to write exams. Let's look at the grading system. We have a grading system that we use at the university here. Let's say at the secondary school, when you have, let's say 70 or 80 to 100, maybe grade 1. But here, if you have 80 to 100, you have grade A. And the grade point is going up to grade point 4. If you get from 80 to 100, you have grade A, and the interpretation is excellent. If you have 75 to 79.99, you have B+. That is the grade point of 3.50. Very good. And if you have 70 to 74.99, you have grade B. That is grade point of 3. Good. If you have 65 to 69.99, you have C+. That is grade point of 2.5. Very good. If you have 60 to 64.99, you have grade C, grade point of 2, average. 55 to 59.99, you have grade of D+. That is grade point of 1.5, below average. Then 45 to 54.99, you have grade D, and a grade point of 1.0, marginal pass. If you have 0 to 44.99, you have grade F. Here, I heard yesterday they said at the university we don't fail. But if you have F, and then I don't know how you interpret it from the basic school up to the university. But the good thing is that you have opportunity to redeem yourself from the grade F. You can have a receipt and then you redeem yourself from there. So on the certificate that will be awarded, we have diploma and then the degree. There is a classification at the back of the certificate. We have for the diploma, we have if you get a cumulative grade point of 3.0 to 4.00 is distinction. And then if you have 1.0 to 2.99 is pass. And then if you have below 1.0 is fail. And then the degree aspect, if you have 3.60 or better, up to 4, you have first class. And then if you have 3.00 to 3.59, a second class upper. If you have 2.00 to 2.99, you have second class lower. If you have 1.50 to 1.99, is third class. And then if you have 1.0 to 1.49, is pass. That is where a friend will say Jiko Didi. So the work starts now. Where you want to belong, then you have to start now. And then if you have below 1.00 is fail. That one, you may not get a certificate. But I don't think the university will even allow you to accumulate your trials up to that level to graduate with below 1.00. Before you get that and graduate, you should redeem yourself and get above 1.00. Now, you are in level 100. You are lucky. Nowadays, I think we don't sack students. Previously, you are in level 100. If you don't, or if you throw in 3 or more of the courses, you are gone. But now we have repeating rules. If you fail, if you are in level 100, and then you have CGPA of less than 1.0 at the end of the academic year, that is both first and second, and then the third semester, or the supplementary, or the receipt. If we put your CGPA together and it is less than 1.00, you are going to repeat level 100. The same level 100 student who trails 3 or more courses at the end of the mandatory receipt examination, you also be repeated. Let's say level first semester, you have 2 trials. Second semester, you have 2 trials, making 4. And at the end of the third semester, or the receipt, or the supplementary, you are not able to redeem any of the 4 trials, then you are going to repeat level 100 for those who will come the following year to join you, and your colleagues will move to level 200, and then you will still remain in level 100. The same applies to level 200 students who also has 3 or more drills, will also be repeated after the mandatory receipt. And then level 300 too, if you have 3 or more courses, you also be repeated. And then a student on a training or a student who is training all courses as incomplete at the end of the first semester examination is also deemed to repeat. For example, let's say you are sick for a whole semester. For a second semester, first semester, level 100, level 200, and the whole semester, you did not write the exams. You were not able to come and write. It is deemed as incomplete. You did not sit for the exams. So the semester exams is incomplete for you. And you have to repeat the whole academic year. You cannot move to the next level and write a whole semester course the following year or so. So you have to repeat your level. So if you miss a whole semester exams, it is automatic repetition at your level. A student can also apply to repeat the level. As I said, if you are sick and you think your condition will not permit you to write the exams, you can also apply to repeat the level. Repetition is not anything bad. It doesn't mean that you are not a good student. Maybe some circumstances beyond your control cannot permit you to write the exams. You have the right to repeat the exams at the level. We also have deferment of program. As you have been admitted into the various program, I learned you cannot change your program. I'm not talking about change of program. I'm talking about deferment of program. For example, first years, I don't think they can defer. If you are in first year, you cannot say that you are deferring a semester or a program. Okay. But it can be granted on health, which must be proved by the university medical director. But when you get to second year and third year, you can defer your program. And a student could defer the program for specified reason for 1 year, that must be granted permission by his or her dean through the head of department. A first year student could only be granted permission to defer the program only on medical grounds, on the recommendation of the director of the University Health Services. On ill health, deferment may be granted for more than 1 year. Though you can defer for 1 year, 1 academic year, but if there is a medical report that indicates that you have to stay home for more than 1 year, the university can defer your program for you for another year or 2 years. And take note, as you defer your program, if your program is 4 years, you have a grace period of 2 years. Supposing you are supposed to complete your university education by 2030, which is a 4-year program, and then you have deferred 1 year now. So by 2031, by 2032, you should complete the university and leave the university premises. But something happens and then you couldn't complete in 2030. You have 1 year or 2 years to complete in 2032. After 2032, the university will not have any business with you unless the condition I said on medical grounds, and then there is a proper medical report for you to be granted that dispensation. You can also defer the exams. In the first instance, I said you can defer the program. You can also defer the exams. Students who have satisfied all requirements may apply to defer on ill health. In that case, you need medical certificate issued by the Director of University Health Services, or you need medical certificate from a proper constituted medical board. Please, don't go to any traditional herbalist and go and bring any report and say that I was sick and my herbal doctor gave me excuse not to come and write exams. It should have, or it should come from a recognized health facility. And when you bring the reports, it will be certified by the university health director. So you should take note. There are instances students come with reports, they go and fake, or they go and connive with some medical doctors, they write something for them, and then they bring as a proof for excuse to exempted from writing exams. Those things will not be accepted unless it is authenticated by the university health director. So on this note, I will end here for my senior colleagues to come and take us through the regulations for the conduct of the examinations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. I'll continue from where he left off to take you through some regulations on the conduct of the examination. He has said almost everything that you need to do before the day of the exams, and some of the things that are available for you to also apply. I want to stress on the deferral of the exams. Please, it is by application. So if for some reason you fall sick on the day of the exams or before the exams and you could not write the exams, you have to still apply for the exams to be deferred. It is not automatic. Don't sit back and think that because the invigilator saw that I was sick, or I reported to my HOD that I was sick, it is automatic. No. You have to apply to your HOD through the dean of your school, and then it will be forwarded to the registrar for it to be processed. I know why I'm stressing on this, because most students sit back thinking it is automatic. It is not automatic. So the application is very necessary. And when you apply, follow up for response to the application before you get convinced that you have indeed been deferred the examination. Before every examination, the university will release a timetable for the examination. I'm very sure you saw timetable for examination and when you were in senior high. The same thing here, we will release the timetable for examination. It is your duty to make sure you go through the entire timetable and copy your schedule out of the big timetable. Please, copy your own schedule. Don't rely on any schedule that has been made by another friend or your class rep. Usually that is what they do. They will go through the timetable and prepare the schedule for the class and post it in your class group. Don't believe in that one. Go through the main one and pick out your own schedule. I know why I'm saying that. I have witnessed a case of triplets who were students here, and the sister copied the timetable of the other sister wrongly. And so one of them had to miss examination. Don't rely on the summaries that will be made by other students. Pick out your own timetable yourself. And then follow the notice board for any possible changes. For any possible changes. Whenever we make changes to the timetable, where we sent it to, we will post the timetable there again. And it is allowed to change the timetable 24 hours to the exams. Our rule allows us to do that. So at any point in time, make sure you follow the timetable to get the updated version of the timetable. If nothing happens, we are likely to release the timetable in two folds. The first one will be titled Provisional Timetable. The provisional in the sense that it can have changes, and you are allowed to inform your department or the exams office anything that is not helpful on the timetable, or to inform the office of any errors that you detect on the provisional timetable. Mostly what we require from you is whether the number of students in your class is properly captured, or the courses you have registered have all been captured on the timetable. If there is a clash of two or more courses on the same day, the same time, you have to inform us to correct it. Per the number of days we use for examination, we don't expect any student to write 2 papers in a day unless you are resitting one of them. What I mean is that you failed one, maybe when you were in first year, and in second year you are writing that one. When it happens like that, you don't have much control over when that paper can be written. So if you are writing your course A and your juniors are writing the course B and you want to write it, in that instance it can clash with your paper. When you report, we are still going to give you the opportunity to write both papers on that same day, at that same time, through the process we call quarantine. So we will quarantine you and let you write the 2 papers in the same day, in the same room. So you write one, after that you don't go anywhere, but you wait for some time and then take the second one. That is what we call quarantine. So when you have a clash of papers, one being a paper you are rewriting and the other being your regular paper, when it happens like that and we are not able to split them before the exams, then you have the opportunity to write them under the quarantine procedure. So before you be allowed to enter the classroom for exams, you need to have arrived 30 minutes before the start of the exams. All students have to be around the exam center 30 minutes before the start of the exams. So the invigilators will start ushering you into the exams room 30 minutes before the start. And when they start, 30 minutes into or after the start of the exams, you will not be allowed to enter. Please take note. You have to arrive 30 minutes before the start. When they start, 30 minutes into the examination, you will not be allowed to enter. So if you are late for 30 minutes, you will not be allowed to enter. When it happens, don't come to the office to complain. The rules are there, and we are abiding by the rules. You enter the room and you will see your index number placed on a particular table, and you are obliged to sit on that same desk and use that position for your examination. You have no right to move your table or your index number to another table. We don't write it on the table. It is a card that bears your index number, and the index number will be put on that table. If you are found moving the card to any other table, it is an offense, and you will face the disciplinary committee. Having said that, let me also say that before the examination starts, you will be given an index number. So very soon you will start receiving index number, particularly those who have paid school fees. You will start receiving index number. Immediately you get the index number, it comes to replace your reference number. The reference number is the number that starts with UA25, then the rest of your numbers follow. That is the reference number. For now, that is the most important number that you must have. Everything that you are doing, you must quote that number. We need that more than your name, because we could have more than 2 people bearing the same name, but the reference number is unique to all of you. So the UA25 1237 something is your reference number, and that must be at your fingertips all the time. Immediately the index number comes in, then it comes to replace the reference number. Then in every interaction, you must quote the index number. So the index number comes to replace the reference number. And so once you receive the index number, in every interaction, you quote what? The index number. If you are a degree student, your index number will start with UEB. So UE Bachelor, that is the degree student. And if you're a diploma student, it will come with UED. So UE Diploma, and that becomes the diploma students. The weekend students have UWB and UW others. So that is your index number. And you must put your index number on your exams paper. We don't need your name. On no account should you write your name at the back of the answer booklets that will be given to you. The answer booklet comes with a serial number, and that serial number must be quoted on your attendance sheet when you are signing. So if for some reason the exams is a written paper and you are given an answer booklet, each answer booklet has a certain number called BSN. So when you are signing the attendance sheet, you have to quote the BSN against your name, so that we can track that this student is the very person who used this booklet for the examination. It is very, very important. You are not allowed to bring anything other than your pens, your pencils, and your calculators. Please take notes. You are not to bring textbooks to the room. You are not to bring hats, bags, pencil cases to the room. Mobile phones are prohibited. Smartwatches are prohibited. You know that if you have the smartwatch, it is just like having your mobile phone with you. And so the smartwatches are not allowed. If you even forget, let me just say you forgot and brought it in, it will be seized. Take note. Just last semester, we seized what iPhone, was it 17, the latest? Yes. And it is seized forever. I remember when it was seized, the lady said he never knew it was going to be seized forever. She wouldn't have used it. Please, the lecturers or the invigilators have been trained to be able to detect all examination malpractices. So anything that goes against our examination rules, the vigilators in the room are armed with the rules and they are there to apply the rules. Programmable calculators are not allowed. Palm top computers and any other unauthorized material is not allowed. You are not allowed to write any pieces of papers to bring into the room. No. It is against the examination rules. When you are found, we will definitely put you before the malpractice committee, and the committee will actually interrogate you and definitely prefer sanctions for the VC to apply. So, what I want to say is that you need to abreast yourself with all the rules of our examinations and make sure you don't go against any one of them. You have no right to disobey any invigilator in the exams room. Very, very important to us. Some of them may come with very small bodies. You might think they are not senior members. All those who are coming for invigilation are senior members and they are representatives of the Vice Chancellor. Disobeying them means you are disobeying the Vice Chancellor, and the university will not take it lightly at all. We are very serious when it comes to examination. I always tell my students that when we meet in classroom, it's a friendly match. But when it comes to examination, it is a World Cup. Serious business. I mean serious business. One thing you need to notice that over here, no lecturer will come into your exams room to come and whisper marks to you. So if it happens somewhere, don't ever think it will happen here. Because here, the lecturer who taught you in the classroom is the same person who is setting the questions and is the same person who is going to mark. So he has the responsibility to protect the sanctity of that examination. And for that matter, no lecturer, no invigilator will allow you to cheat or will allow you to do anything that will undermine the integrity of our examination. You are not allowed to smoke in and around the examination room. You are not allowed to bring even your bag 200 meters to the exam center. I'm going to stress on that. Even your bags. I hope you know 200 meters, 2 football fields. So what that means is that just leave it behind and don't bring it. But if for some reason, particularly those who are not living on campus, if for some reason you have to bring the bag because you came early to learn, there is a drop-off point near the syndicate hall. I'm very sure very soon the SRC will take you around to show you all the buildings on our campus. One of the buildings is called the Syndicate Hall, or SH for short. There is a place that you can drop your books, the covers of your calculator, your phones, and all your gadgets there before exams. If you are coming to write exams in this auditorium, there will be security guards in 2 rooms just behind you to the entrance, the left side of the entrance, and you can go there and drop your bags. This was a plea from SRC because they think that for some reason, those who are not resident on campus will come with their bags. So we agreed and decided to give you a different place, some places to drop off your bags and your phones. So even though it technically goes against our rules, because this particular location is within the 200 meters, but we are allowing you to drop the bags there because it is supervised by the university security. Then there is one around the syndicate hall. So if you are writing at the new library, LIB, if you are writing at the old auditorium, you are writing at LT 1234, wherever you are writing, please run to the syndicate and drop your bags there. If you drop it at the entrance to the exams room, you will not come and meet them. And when you can't find it, don't come to the exams office to complain, because we will not be able to tell who took them. We don't know who will take them. So when you drop it there, even when you are late, still rush to the place and drop it there. For auditorium, you can put it over here. Some common offenses during exams, and I'll wrap up for us to move to the next talk. Taking away answer booklets. If you try to steal any of the documents we give to you during the exams, it is an offense. You will be dismissed outright. That one, no doubt about it. Impersonation. If you try to impersonate, come to write for someone else, we will catch you, because we will screen you at the entrance of the exams. And when we detect that you are not the one who is coming to write, you will definitely be dismissed. Tearing pieces of the answer booklets. When you make an attempt to tear parts of the answer booklets, it will definitely be deemed as a malpractice, because definitely you were looking for a use for that piece. Possession of written information. I told you, if you come into the exams hall with any written information that is not authorized by the examiner, we will find you. Notes. We have come to realize the new trend. Every year we meet as examiners to strategize for every examination. And so those new trends, we begin to discuss and find ways of catching them. The latest one is writing in your dresses, particularly the ladies. The act of writing in the underskirts, so that you will scare the invigilator, the male invigilators away for you to copy. We have detected it. Last semester, we caught one lady like that, and they brought her to the office. We were there when another lady walked in, coming to plead on her behalf. And I was there with my colleague. When she walked in, after 4 or 5 minutes, I started laughing, because I could scan her dress and could also see that she also had writings in her dress. So that is what I mean by training. We are training the invigilators in all the new trends that you come with. Our dear Muslims, let us respect the religion. We are allowing you to use your hijabs and the long dresses to write exams in order not to infringe on your rights as a Muslim. But please, don't create any reason for us to force you to remove it. We were there when pieces of paper started falling from a hijab, when there was a suspicion that the lady was carrying materials. All these have been detected. We have had instances where the lady had earpods in her ears and was communicating because the phone has been hidden in the hijab. And we would find them. I'm telling you all this for you to know that we have actually trained the invigilators who are coming. And for that matter, any attempt you try to disgrace the university, we will catch you. So, don't bring the gadgets. Come and do independent work. We are very serious when it comes to exams. I'm very sure if it is what rampant in the news that there was always examination malpractice around UNER, you wouldn't have selected UNER as an option. It is because of the protection or how we have guarded our names. That is why you still see us worthy of an institution to train you for your future. And so please, don't give us any reason to sack you, because we want to continue to protect the university. You are entreated to dress decently to the exams hall. Examination center is an official meeting. And so even though this decency is discretionary, please come well dressed so that nobody will use that against you. So come well dressed and come and write your exams. You come, yes, just do something nice. My vice chancellor will tell you that we want to train UNER students how to portray that anytime you meet the person, you will see, yes, this person is coming from UNER. The kind of posture, how the person carries himself or herself, how the person talks and address people. Immediately you hear the person speak, you know that, yes, this person is coming from UNER. That is the kind of training we want to give you. So please, come well prepared. Before I sit, last academic year, last semester, only the semester, we were able to catch 92 students in examination malpractice. 92. I remember in one particular exams I was there, and 15 students were seen with various materials in the same room. That tells you how serious we are when we come to exam center. Very, very serious. We don't joke with 92. Some of the sanctions that were given, 3 of them were dismissed outright. About 32 about 68 had all the papers they wrote cancelled. So we'll cancel the paper so that you come and rewrite. These same 62 were suspended or rusticated. Universities like big words. Suspending you, they will say, we have rusticated you. They are rusticated for 1 year. So the paper that you were sitting for will be cancelled, and then you will be suspended for 1 year to go home and come back the following academic year. There are other sanctions like even all the papers that you were writing can be cancelled. That is how dangerous it is. If at times I say even the papers that you were yet to write will be cancelled. When assuming we saw you on your 3rd day of writing, by the time the committee sits, you would have written all the 9 papers. And if for some reason the committee think that all the papers should be cancelled, it all will be cancelled, even though you wrote some after the incident. That is how serious it is. And so please, don't play with us when it comes to examination. My last point is that why should we guard against examination malpractice? It protects the reputation of the university. Very simple. You are going to hold the certificate of UNER, and we don't want you to be treated as a second fiddle whenever you appear with the other universities, so that people will respect the certificate that you carry to their job places. Give a credible certificate that has a competitive advantage over others. Period. We need to protect the image of the university so that wherever you take our certificate to, people will be happy to meet you. In fact, I can confidently say that UNER students are doing marvelously well. In the last 10 groups that we have graduated, wherever they find themselves, It is all good stories. Last year, one of my students from the mathematics department found himself in Spain under the Erasmus Mundus scholarship program. I had some relatives who were also under that same program, but they graduated in tech. They were 20 in number, KNUST students alone. Only one UNER student. And my family members called me, "What have you people done to that boy? How can a UNER student be teaching us after the exam, after lectures?" And the KNUST people at times feel shy to go to him for him to teach them. And that story is not the only one. Almost all the places where they meet them, you see that their performance is a top notch. I always say that UNER lecturers are teaching, they are not lecturing. I know the difference. I remember when we were in KNUST, if I go and meet this big crowd, I will just sing my song. And then because I don't see your eyes, I'll just talk like I'm talking now. Sing, 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 and go. But you come in smaller sizes where we can see you. When you are crying, when I'm teaching and you are crying, I can see from your eye that you are crying. So I need to calm down and make sure you are happy. That is the difference. And for that matter, the teaching here, I can say that it is a top-notch level. My last point is that we want to protect our examination to give the university the good name that you want to be associated with even after completion. So just as some people are boasting with their university, I was here, I was there, I was there, we want you to also be able to boast with UNER. I was once in UNER, I was in that university, the most vibrant science university in the country at the moment. There's no competition about that. I know. I am a KNUST product, but I know what we are doing here. I can confidently say this is far better. Thank you very much.
UNER is far, far better. If you agree to it, let's give a round of applause to Mr. Johnson de Grant. Last semester, a lady, I was there. I was also invigilating. And then we caught her. We saw that she was writing from a paper. So when she saw us coming, she put the paper in the mouth and started chewing it. After that, she drank water on top. Then she asked, "Sir, where's the evidence?" So, okay, we'll go and do some surgery there and see. So, they are happening. But if you are not careful too, you'll be sacked. Today, she's in the house. She's part of the 62 something or 68 something, yes. So please, if you have any question, we are taking only 5. Dean is saying it's too much. So we are taking only 3. You get the rest at the school level. So please, 3. Thank you. And then before they ask their questions, those who ask questions during the narcotic presentation, please, you have some books that we need to present to you. So I'll give it to the ushers and then you can go and collect your book. Thank you. We need only 3, not 5. Okay, I will allow. Okay, there are 4. Please start.
I am John Sylvanus. My first question. If a student is admitted at a nearby medical center and may not be able to come and write the examination, can the paper be taken to the person at a nearby center with a proper supervision? Question 2.
But
Can a student defer a program due to financial crisis or poverty? Sorry. Due to financial crisis or pregnancy, with the exemption of a level 100 student? Question 3. If a student is...
Please. So you one person question, baby.
Yes, please.
Okay, that's how you allow.
Question 3. If a student is ill and cannot be able to apply for deferment of exams, what should the student do?
All right, thank you.
Please, I'm not done. Question 4. Question 4. How do you know there has been a change on the notice board? If the solution is visiting the notice board always, can there be an online group for notification? For maybe there will be a queue at the notice board, which may lead to lateness to willing destination. Thank you.
Thank you. With your last question, no, I just want to answer that we have online platforms. The SRC, so when you came, local news made you to scan. You are part of their WhatsApp channel. Then the SRC, you are part of their WhatsApp channel. The university is also having social media platform that we share such information. So please, just calm, cool, okay? Be calm, okay? So get your information and listen to Greener FM 95.9. We have some of these information shared. Yes, others, please. Others, don't come and tell me you have 5 questions. 1 question at a time. Thank you very much.
I go by the name Nicholas. I want to ask, if let's say you write all the exams, including the supplementary or the receipt, and you fail, and you are repeated, will you be asked to pay for school, to pay the school fees for the year?
Okay, thank you. Next question. Next person, please.
Okay, thank you very much. So my question is, what if a student score 75 or 60% and I failed myself, I didn't do well? Can I go for a receipt?
Please come again.
I said, what if a student scores 70% or 60%?
Okay.
And I failed with myself that I didn't do well? Can I go for a receipt?
Receipt?
Yes, please.
You passed 50 out of 60.
Yes, please.
No, receipt is for only those who failed their course.
Okay. And
if you got 50 over 60, you have not failed.
Okay.
So you can't go for receipt.
Okay. And my second question is, would a uniform of pencils be deployed to all student body during the exams?
Well,
a uniform of pencils be deployed to each student during the examination.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
My name is Innocentia, and my question is, we often hear on the internet that lecturers harass students in relation to examination. So let's say I come to the office to report that a lecturer is harassing me or forcing me to have an affair with him so that I can pass my exams. And then I come to report. To report to the appropriate office. Are you going to keep my identity anonymous, or you are going to disclose my identity to the lecturer, which might lead to other consequences such as hatred by the lecturer? Thank you.
Thank you. Sexual harassment policy. All right. Thank you.
Okay, I'm taking the first gentleman. I was able to pick about three. I don't. The first one is sick nearby. You are sick, but in a clinic or a hospital nearby. In fact, it is a difficult thing, but unfortunately, you cannot continue the exams. We cannot determine the stage you find yourself to be able to write the exams. And so we will not write the exams even when you are close by. Even at our university clinic, you still cannot continue the examination. I like the way you put it under a proper supervision. But in a clinic settings, you can't have that proper supervision. Even if you are in a good examination. I don't want to talk much about it because we have had an instance where a student fell ill, was moved into the clinic, supervision was provided, but the booklet had two different handwritings. At the end of the day, the booklet came with two different handwritings. And so we are not doing it. It was a favor we wanted to give at the time, even though it goes against our rules. But she forced us to apply the rule strictly. Sickness but cannot apply. We expect that deferral of exams, the application goes before the exams. But if it is as a result of ill health or sickness, then you can let somebody apply for you, either a family member, once the appropriate documents are there, or you can apply after you are well. Definitely by that time, you would have written the exams. What we need is the excuse duty that the clinic will give you. If it is a university hospital, they will give you an excuse duty, spelling out the date that you were admitted over there or the date you visit. So that date must coincide with the date of the examination or before the examination, as that you were admitted even on the day of that exams. So once the document is clear with the date of the examination, you are fine. We will defer you. In fact, if the application fails to come, we will apply the first rule, which says that failure to attend examination is a fail of the is not an excuse for not writing examination. But unless you were admitted maybe by some complications of the pregnancy. So this time we are not talking about the pregnancy itself, but the fact that you are sick or ill. So that one is the case. But the doctors tells us that pregnancy is not a sickness and cannot be used as an excuse for not coming to write examination. So just take note of that. You scored 70% but still want to write? No. The university gives chance for only those who failed the paper to write the examination. We used to have a grade E. You remember my colleague mentioned the grading system. When he got to D, he jumped to F. The E has been taken off for you, your group. I think the group that is entering final year to now do not have the grade E. That grade E was 0.5 grade. And with that one, you could rewrite. But the university took it off and combined all the marks. So if you listen to him carefully, you would realize that the jump is 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. But when it got to the grade D, it started from 45 to 54.99, which is 10. So it used to be 5, 5, 5, 5. But we combined the E and the previous D to make it D, which is a big favor to your group. It means that if you pass with the worst grade, D throughout, you will still not be repeated, because at the end of the day, you will get 1. But previously, somebody could pass all the examinations, but still be repeated, because if you was passing with E, you was going to get 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. So at the end of the day, your average will fall below 1. And for that matter, you will be repeated. So I always say that this regime is a big favor, that the likelihood for repetition has been reduced greatly for you. I want to leave the real case of harassment to the dean of students, who has the competence. But in terms of examination, I can tell you that the conduct of examination would definitely not have anything to do with harassment. The aftermath of examination, which is the assessment period, for that, I don't want to think that it is not possible. Of course, we are human. So when it happens, then there are appropriate offices that you can report. And I want to leave that response to the dean of students, who is the father of all students, to talk about that.
So on the sexual harassment, if you have that problem, please report to your HOD or any other person. If it fails, you go to the next level, the dean. If that fails, you go to the dean of students. If it fails, you go to the registrar. All these people cannot cover up. And it's in your student handbook. Sexual harassment, we take it seriously. That's why it's in the student handbook. So read the student handbook, and then so that you can know your rights. And whenever you are found in that situation, please report to the appropriate authority. If it fails, go to the next level. Always escalate. And then you get your issue resolved. So don't think that people are here to cover up for others or not. No, always escalate it. And then you get your problem resolved. Your identity. At a certain stage, the person will have to appear before a committee. And you have to also come and present your case. It is not possible to, otherwise the person will go scot-free. Because at a certain stage, you have to come, the person will have to appear before a committee. You cannot say this person harassed me and then we just catch the person, you are dismissed. No. What the Vice Chancellor will do is that the Vice Chancellor will set up a committee to investigate whether there's some merit in the case. And when the person is found guilty, the appropriate, we are not above the law. Lecturers are not above the law. We have also rules regulating us. So if your identity cannot be distant, we will leave that to the lawyers to see how best we can. So what you can do is that if you don't want to show up, you tell the dean of students, you will consult the university lawyers, and then they will know the legal remedy to take. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. We have here with us the SRC Vice President, Sidika Kingsport. Oh, why? You don't like your SRC Vice President? Oh. And then, the SRC President, His Excellency, Abdul Ajay Zakaria. You are welcome, sirs. This afternoon they will meet you, they will speak to you, so don't worry. We have two sensitive presentations, and I always say that the first one is very sensitive. But before the presentation, please kindly note that Hall 1 is also here. So students who are affiliated to Hall 1 should kindly, after the program, you can go to the table and make payment of your hall dues. So kindly take note. We have in our midst one man. I don't want to introduce him, so I will leave it to Mr. James Clark Hayford to do the introduction. But please, those who ask questions during the narcotic presentation, your book is here. Come and pick it from me, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Chair. Student, I have gone through the attendance sheet. I've seen students from Holy Child School, Infantipim, Prempeh College, Adesada College. I'm excited and happy you are all here. But take it from me, the next presentation will blow your mind. The man we want to introduce is a great man. He has gone through the walls of this great school. I speak this way because I am the Institutional Advancement and Alumni Relations Officer. He's a product of this university. A gentleman who could produce a PhD in 26 months. Let's clap for him. He is not just a lecturer with a forest science department, with a foundation school, School of Natural Resources, but he's a man of God. He's a man of God. He attended a very good secondary school, St. Thomas Aquinas. Where are they? Are they here? That is in school. Apart from that, he owns a chain of hostels. He's a CEO of Bedu Hostels. And Dr. Anthony Bedu loves students. On record, he's one of the few men in this community who are able to give out scholarship to students. The Bedu Scholarship is always given to brilliant and needy students. Without wasting my time, with a standing ovation, let us welcome Reverend Anthony Bedu. Thank you very much. Reverend, your students are here prepared to listen to you. Thank you so much. Reverend Dr. Anthony Bedu.
Thank you very much, please, sir. Thank you so very much. The way Mr. Hayford introduced me as if I'm the president of Ghana. Let's give a round of applause, please. Right. Thank you so very much. My academic father is here, Professor Simon Abugri, Dean of State. Let's give a round of applause. And then, chairing this meeting is the Dean of School of Sciences, Professor Samuel Fusu Jesti. Professor, let's give a round of applause. Oh, give them a round of applause. I'm going to be very brief. So before you know I'm starting, I'm already ending. So please listen attentively. First of all, I want you to give a round of applause to yourself for qualifying to be in the university. As I sat down, I quickly Googled to find out the population of university or tertiary students in Ghana as of today. And the figure was 650,000 tertiary students in Ghana. As at now, 650,000 tertiary students. So let's say that if the population of Ghana is 30 million, in terms of proportion of tertiary students, it will be 2.17%. 2.17%. And you are lucky to be one of those 2.17%. That is why you need to give yourself a round of applause again. But let me hurriedly say that no matter how intelligent you are, somebody has sponsored you to be here. I want you to give a round of applause to the one who paid your school fees, your hostel fee, who will be giving you money every month. Thank you. So, after this session, or before the day ends, if you can make time, if it's your father who is taking care of you, your mom, any other person, just call them and thank them. Say thank you for helping me to be here. Because it will interest you to know that there are equally very intelligent. In fact, some of them are even more intelligent than you. I once chanced, I think 2 years ago, I chanced on a gentleman who he did science in SHS, had 6 A's. He's in one village farming to save money to come to school. He's farming. 6 A's, farming. Some of you, you've had D, C, 6, and all that. You are here. So, one of the reasons why you are here is not because you are super intelligent, but also because somebody has supported you financially to be here. And this is something you need to appreciate as you go along. Seated in here, in 4 years' time, one of you will be adjudged as the overall best student in 4 years. If Jesus tarries, one of you will become the overall best student. Here, one of you will be the overall best student, School of Sciences, School of Natural Resources. All the schools, one of you are here. But the interesting thing is that as you are here, nobody has a CWA, GPA now. Nobody. Nobody has. You are all starting on a plain ground. So whatever you become in this UNER depends on you. As I was coming and I was looking around, I was just smiling. In fact, there are some people, all that is being said, they will not hear one. Examination or practice, one TB. Because as orientation is ongoing, they are there. They are not even here. So your journey in this university has begun. Your ability to sit down, pay attention, listen, and do what is required of you has begun. Growing up as a young boy, in 1991, I was in a small village in Eastern region called Akrabo, 11.3 kilometers from Suhum in Eastern region. I was somewhere in 1991, I was following my grandparents to the farm, even though I didn't like going to the farm. In fact, whenever I was in the farm, I was angry. Either I'm angry or I don't want to see what is happening there. But I didn't have a choice. I had not started school. My mother was in Accra selling bread by the roadside. One Friday, my mother came to the village and asked the parent, why haven't you taken Kwame to school? And my grandfather said, Abenapa, na sikaben, sikaben. So my starting school was not based on whether I was academically smart. It was based on money to take me to school. And my mother from that day took me to town, bought Pamsen school fees, school uniform for me, and took me to Amede Press School. That is how my academic journey started. He took my mother to buy uniform for me and take me to that government school. Today, by the grace of God, for the past 4 years, I have delivered 12 academic presentations in 7 countries. University of Oxford in the UK, University of Lausanne in Switzerland, University of Nairobi in Kenya, University of Montpellier in France, University of Rome in Italy. And the interesting thing is that all of them were based on scholarship. Even my plane ticket was paid for. All I had to do was to work hard and go and talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm saying is that you may not have money, you may not have a daddy who is rich or mommy who is rich, but if you work hard, there are support systems to take you through this journey. There are several of them. In Ghana here, we have GNPC scholarship, Ghana National Petroleum Commission, they have a scholarship. Those of you reading, this is a special area scholarship. Those of you reading petroleum, You can access them. We have Ghana National Scholarship Secretariat. It's one of the scholarship schemes you can access. There's also Kufuor Scholarship. Kufuor what? In this unit, there are some Kufuor scholars. Every semester, there's an amount of money they give to them. There's JFQ Scholarship Foundation. There are several of them. So, if there's no money, all you have to do, I tell people that for somebody to help you, you must first help yourself. What do you have to do? Please pursue excellence. Work hard. Discipline yourself. Work hard. In fact, for every scholarship that is advertised, those who qualify are more than 500. It will take those who merit it. There are different types of scholarship. Let me just mention 4 of them. One of them is merit-based scholarship. Merit. Merit means that, you see, we don't assess scholarship by crying. That's how you go to the dean of students and go and cry that I need help. Please help me. Financially, I cannot, blah, blah, blah. And he asks you, so what's your GPA? You say 1.5. You cannot get it. 1.5 GPA. You want a scholarship. So if you have money to give to someone to support the education, one of them has a GPA of 3.8 and one 2.1. Who will you give it to? They all have need. Who will you give it to? The 3.8. So their scholarship based on merit. You deserve it. Academically, you are working hard. You deserve it. There's scholarship based on need. You need it. Some of you, by the grace of God, your family members can afford it. No problem. Thank God that you have such a family to be able to support your education and be grateful to them. So you don't need it. In terms of need base, you don't need it. Because daddy can take care of it. Mommy can take care of it. Don't worry yourself. Just study. Go through. There are some that genuinely, they are so intelligent, but there's no one to support them. They need it. So scholarship based on need. Scholarship based on merit. And then also scholarship based on sports. Some of our sports guys, even in this university, a couple of our sports personnel, they are on scholarship. You give them some amount of money to subsidize their fees. So if you know how to play football, you get to the sports directorate, let them know. Through that, you can get a scholarship. So sports can also earn you something. And then sometimes based on your specialized area, there are scholarships for women in engineering. Okay, because you are a lady, you are an engineer, there are special scholarships. In fact, MTN Ghana also has a scholarship foundation for students. So there are a lot of opportunities. First of all, it's a scholarship. It's just a financial package given to people to support their education, whether it's teaching, living expenses, and all that. Okay, so we know. In fact, I've had opportunity that some people started so well. Their daddy taking care of them. In their second year, daddy dies. One of my students that supervised, the thesis last semester, final semester, final year, the father died. Meanwhile, this is a father. In fact, she was the only daughter to the father. Daddy's little girl. Father just dies. You see, so sabe in penifo say obi ni mo chena sem. Ebi ayeka scholarship say oh the papa wiska. What is the guarantee that daddy will be there tomorrow? What is the guarantee that mommy will be there tomorrow? Enti assembly ayeka bia watch meka GMPC watch rato. But you also start preparing yourself by working, by putting in your best. See, make up your mind that this opportunity, but for education, I will not be standing here. And yes, I said, school and coming to me, Professor Fuenim, I cannot be here. School kakrenti, sebe, Benifo Kasai, also because of school. Okay, I can't say man, I want to papa Bob and coming to me. And so I share in the sentiment of Nelson Rolihlahla Tata Mandela of South Africa. He once said, education is the great engine for personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor. And the sons of farm workers can become presidents of a great nation. Nelson Mandela, unquote. So work hard. Now bringing it home and ending on this note. Over the period I mentioned, a lot of people have supported me. through my education. In fact, Professor Abugri here, he taught me first degree and master's level. Professor Jesse taught me master's level. You see, today, we are sharing the same stage because of education. And through that help, I know what it is. I was sharing with some people when I was in first degree. Miniska bebresa, eduanya na mitadi pa ye gobe. Gobe na matwa ma minyetu wa ye ni mahi ameto. Nimidu wa mese dada na ne makodi miwia uhu se botu nsuo botu kita me amankoto pipe na mebu egu. Menom sa na magobe ne settle. You see, through all this hustle and bustle, I know that sometimes, as God blesses us, we also must do something to help society. So by the grace of God, we started a scholarship scheme in this UNER for the past 3-4 years. That's the Bedu scholarship. Scholarship scheme by my wife and I. For the past 3 years, we have awarded scholarship to over 105 students in this UNER. Last 3 years, we gave it to 15. Last 2 years, 30. Last year, 30. This year, 35. And as their scholarship package, they get an amount of 1,000 cedis to 4,500 cedis. So every year, my wife and I, we save almost around 500 million. We put it down just to give to people for free as scholarship. So all of you, as I'm talking, I just cited one. He is a former Bedu scholar. Son of bless you said. He's now a TA. Clap for him. First class. He's a former Bedu scholar. He had, in fact, you must get first class. He had first class, biological science. There are some of his mates who started their own Bedu scholar. Some of them are pursuing masters in China. One of my scholars, he just got to Germany. She even went on, one Bedu scholar, she went on just 6 months, internship. She just called me that they have decided that they want to retain her. She was in level 300. I was so Twaso. They decided to retain her to continue education in Germany. There are several of them. So you are a potential Bedu scholar. What that means is that I told you Bedu scholarship is based on 2: need and merit. Oh, mami soon chreme say papa ewu na mami ewu udu GPA ba 2.1. Work hard, help yourself, and God will help us together. God bless
you. Yes. So does he deserve to be introduced like that? Does he deserve to be introduced like that? Yes. There's something that you didn't say. How do you call it, Reverend? Is it Kenke prayer party? Yes, so please, at this semester you do it. Kenke prayer party. Udi Kenke kakra no abompaye kakra. Thank you very much. We are going to have our last presentation, and it is on HIV/AIDS. We want to tell you what is happening in Ghana and then in this region and in this municipality so that you'll be aware of what is happening. Are we okay? I know you are not scared. And I can see far end there. There are condoms there. Yes. And then the HIV test kit is also here. So those who want to get tested, please, this is the opportunity. They say be bold. Say be bold. All right, let me introduce to you the director from the AIDS Commission. With a round of applause, please, let's appreciate him. Don't clap, HIV clap. Oh. Give me. Thank you very much.
It's the board. No, it's like the. No problem. That's it. That's it. a projector on? Okay.
Afishiapo! Yama Afishiapo! Afishiapa! Ebinyamicha ubia! Afishiapo!
Afishiapo! Afishiapo!
Merry Christmas to you all.
Afishiapo! 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 Afishiapo!
Bambila from the Ghana Ace Commission, in charge of the 3 BA United. That is Bono, Bono East, and then Ahafo region. So we will look at basic facts on HIV. So we want to look at what HIV is. As the acronym, H is for human, found only in human, transmitted among humans, and then preventable by humans. The I stands for immunodeficiency. It's a body, the body lacks the ability to fight off infections. Then we look at the V, virus, types of germ, lives and reproduces in body cells. So we look at the second one. Remember, we have HIV and we also have AIDS. They are 2 different conditions. So AIDS represents acquire, that is, you receive, not inherited. So as a fresher, when you go back to your village or wherever you are coming from, you should be able to make that distinction. HIV or AIDS is not inherited. It's acquired. You receive it. I stands for immuno. That is protected from, in this case, system protects the body from disease. Then the D, deficiency, a lack of syndrome, group of symptoms or diseases. So we have a number of body flus that are infectious. Others are not infectious. As students, you sit closely to each other. So it tells you that the sweat is not infectious. So you can hug your colleague. If the person is infected, you will not get HIV. Saliva is not infectious. Sputum, urine, feces, or tears, these flus are not infectious. But the infectious ones are blood, seminal or pre-ejaculatory flus, vagina or cervical flus, breast milk, and then rectal secretions. These are the infectious flus. So you can only get HIV through these flus. Now we look at how HIV is passed on. How do we acquire HIV? During unprotected sex, that is skin to skin, in a vagina or oral. Some of you will say, I will not allow penetration. It is not only penetration that gives you HIV. Also give you HIV. Then we have contact with HIV-infected blood or blood products. Then we also have sharing IV drugs, needles of HIV-positive people. Then from HIV-positive mother to the unborn or to the new baby. Then the last one is during breastfeeding. So these are the ways through which you can get HIV. We look at the window period. If you have an exposure last night, exposure means if you have an encounter, unprotected sex
with an infected person last night, today you will be tested negative. Even though you are infected, but you will be tested negative. And that is what we call the window period. And this period can take between 6 weeks to 3 months before the antibodies begin to show. So don't deceive yourself by having unprotected sex yesterday, then today or next week, you go and test, the result is negative, then you are happy. Please, you'll be deceiving yourself. The HIV test looks for antibodies. And when these antibodies are detected, the person is diagnosed positive of HIV. But until the antibodies are enough in your blood to show, you will continue to be negative. So we have to be careful. A person can be positive at the test, and the test shows negative. That is what I just explained. You can be positive, but the test results will be negative because you are still within the window period. Now let's look at why HIV rates not going down. Because the urge of sex is increasing by the day. Sex at an early age, very, very dangerous. We have a lot of clients who get the infection just the first day the person have encounter with unprotected sex. So as freshers, most of you are still virgins. So please, protect your virginity. It's very important. If you make mistake, your first encounter, you can get HIV. Remember, HIV is not written on the forehead of the infected person. It is only test that can show the results. Little life skills and sex education. We pretend to be highly religious. So we find it difficult to talk about sex education. It's very important as graduates or freshers. Let's talk openly about sex education. Then little condom use. Our statistics shows that majority, 6 or 7 people out of 10 are not using condom during sex. Multiple sexual partners. This one there is a common disease affecting all of us. We pretend to have permanent girlfriends, but you have about 4 or 5 outside. The ladies do the same. So the higher your multiple sexual partners, the higher your chances of getting infected with HIV, and not only HIV, other STIs. Stigma and discrimination. If I'm in a community, in our community, if I'm the only person living with HIV and you stigmatize me, I will be tempted to infect more people, willingly or unwillingly, because the fact that you are living with HIV doesn't take away your sexual right. You should have the right to have sex. So if you are not supported by your community members to take your medication correctly and consistently to reduce the viral load, you are likely to express that sexual right by infecting people knowingly or unknowingly. Now, sex for money or sex for grade. You are in a tertiary institution. Some of the lecturers may demand sex for grade. So you have to be careful. Sex for money or sex for grade is also a sex work. So please, you have to be extra careful. Substance abuse is also a driver for new HIV infections. Men having sex with men. A lot of men are there. They say they don't like women. They like their colleague men. And the HIV prevalence among them is very high. Currently, it's 20%. The HIV prevalence among MSM. Then gender inequality and then gender rules. Let's move to STIs and HIV. The STIs are divided into 3 types. We have the bacterial STIs, viral STIs, then we have the parasitic STIs. Persons with a history of STIs are vulnerable to HIV because you have sores around your private parts or your genital organ. And that is vulnerable. It increases your vulnerability. Now we look at STI and HIV, the link. You can get an STI by having sex without a condom. So condom use in terms of HIV prevention gives you triple protection. Condom will prevent you from getting HIV. Consistent and correct use of condom, that I mean. It can prevent you from getting HIV, prevent you from getting other STIs, chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis. And then the last protection is unwanted pregnancy. So we look at STIs. All the STIs, most of them are treatable, but HIV is not. So prevention, like I indicated, we have to discuss openly with talk openly with your partner in terms of HIV and other STIs. Use condom correctly and consistently. If you use condom today, tomorrow, the next day you say the person is your regular partner, you are deceiving yourself. It will not help you. So you have to use it correctly and consistently once the person is not your husband or your wife. Reduce the number of sexual partners. Very important. The higher your multiple sexual partners, the higher your vulnerability. Get tested to know your HIV status. It's very important. If you are protecting yourself and you don't know your status, you are deceiving yourself. So the first point of prevention is knowing your HIV status before you adapt any of the preventive measures. Who is most at risk for HIV? Like I indicated, anybody having sex without a condom, you are at risk of getting HIV. People with more than one partner, then people who have sex partners, people whose sex partners have other partners without using what? Condom. Very important. So how do you not get HIV? Yes. So you cannot get HIV by hugging person living with HIV. By touching the person living with HIV, you can't get HIV. By living in the same room or caring for someone with HIV, it cannot give you HIV. You cannot get HIV from eating together. If I'm infected, I'm eating with you, you can't get HIV. So we can share the same toilet, the same bed, the same washroom. We can play games together. You will not get HIV. Early signs and symptoms of HIV, this one I will skip it. So remember, you cannot tell by looking at the forehead of a person that this person is living with HIV. The only way you can diagnose a person living with HIV is through test. An individual can look and feel well for many years before the symptoms begin to show, depending on your lifestyle. So, getting on with life, we are looking at persons. Look at this person. This person is living with AIDS. So if this person is living with AIDS, it means that that person is not or was diagnosed late. But the second person is on medication. Once you are on medication, you live healthy life. No problem. All right, so we are looking at other STIs. If you have STI, like I indicated, you are vulnerable to getting HIV. So look at these STIs. Genital ulcer. Then we have genital herpes. All these things. So in terms of oral sex, you are vulnerable. Gonorrhea. What? Yes. Cervical cancer, especially our ladies, you are supposed to screen, and the screening is free. So please, let's take advantage.
Dear fresh student,
Remember,
management of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, I warmly welcome you to the University of Energy and Natural Resources, well known nationally and globally for its excellence, innovation, and purpose. All universities all over the world will give you knowledge, but UNER provides something different. In addition to knowledge, we provide you soft skills. Soft skills in critical thinking, problem solving, communication, teamwork, etc. That is why our graduates, which we call technologians, perform excellently wherever they find themselves, because we've given them all the skills required for them to excel and be professionals in the area of energy, environment, and sustainable development. The Office of the Dean of Students would exist to support you so that you can integrate into the university community successfully. We will take care of your welfare services, provide the safety counseling services, is what the Office of the Dean of Students will provide you. Dear freshers.
Oh, you are scared, though. Please, we are starting the testing this afternoon. Somebody is shaking the head. No. All right. It's good to get tested. We thank you so much, sir, for that presentation. In fact, the Dean of Students, the Dean for School of Sciences is lobbying to get this man to the orientation for the School of Sciences. So if he succeeds, then it means that School of Sciences, you'll be fortunate to have this presentation again. Now, because of our time, we are not going to ask questions, but the man is available here for you to approach him. Go to him